The result was, on the whole, a foregone conclusion, but a victory to savour nonetheless.
They call it Super Tuesday for a reason. This is a big one.
Donald Trump winning all but one contest, from Alaska to Alabama, California to Maine.
I think he's the best man for the country.
Donald Trump has the answers, and we need him. Desperately need him.
One more fella I gotta catch up to.
Donald Trump's only remaining Maine challenger, Nikki Haley, did find pockets of support.
I just voted for Nikki Haley because I'm trying to send a message that what Donald Trump represents is 100% un-American.
I really don't like Donald Trump.
Let's bring you a key race alert right now.
And in an unanticipated result, the former UN ambassador took Vermont. It was the former South Carolina governor's only win. She also polled relatively well in several states, including Massachusetts, Virginia and Colorado, but suffered major defeats in delegate-rich Texas and California, putting her future in the race in doubt. The president had a good night, winning everywhere but American Samoa. But there were some warning bells, with tens of thousands lodging a protest vote, an initiative born out of dissatisfaction with Joe Biden's Israel policy. Joe Biden and Donald Trump still have to be officially confirmed as nominees at their party's conventions mid-year. But America's just moved a big step closer to a presidential contest many would not have believed possible between the incumbent and his predecessor. Taylor Swift weighed in today, urging fans to make a plan to vote.
It's been a big night. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Some celebrity intervention could be needed again come November to lift engagement in what's shaping up to be an unpopular rematch. Barbara Miller, ABC News, Charlottesville, Virginia.
Presuming neither candidate steps down from here, the stage is set for November 2024 to be a rematch of November 2020. A rematch that voters don't seem to particularly want. Neither candidate is all that popular. That's the consistent picture we're given by opinion polling. Joe Biden's approval rating is historically low. Here's 538's average of approval polls since he took office. His current rating is lower than basically all presidents since the Second World War at this point in their term, and that's including Donald Trump. And while it's a long way to November, head-to-head polls are typically putting Trump somewhere between a whisker and a foot ahead of Biden. But there are difficulties ahead for both. One of Joe Biden's biggest negatives in voters' eyes is his age, and that's reared its head in recent weeks. Amid that poor polling and campaign trail stumbles, there's growing pressure for him to even reconsider his bid for a second term. There's a lot to happen between now and Election Day on November 5th. But for Donald Trump, the first stop is an appointment with the courts. Later this month, he's scheduled to face his first criminal trial. This is the one over allegations of hush money paid to Stormy Daniels in the 2016 campaign. He's got 3 other trials on the cards too, but the timeline of the 2 federal cases is in the hands of the Supreme Court. On April 22nd, the court will hear arguments of Trump's claim of immunity from prosecution. Whether those cases go ahead and, importantly, whether they have time to go ahead before November, that's in the hands of the justices. Will the trials and any potential convictions tar his image? Not for most Republican voters, but polling suggests there are some who wouldn't vote for Trump if he were a felon. A minority of Republicans, but possibly enough to make a difference. This is a competitive race for both candidates, even if many Americans aren't all that jazzed about it.